All right, everybody. Welcome to the MMA Homie Podcast. I'm here with Redwolf MMA, our homie from across the pond. I heard you lived like a few miles away from Tom Aspinall. Is that right?
Yeah, man. Yeah. So we grew up and lived in the same city, same town for all our lives. And he moved a little bit further up down the road, so that's why he's got a little bit different accent. Not by much though. Not by much.
Oh, my Lord. And is it true that your aunt was friends with Patty Pimblett and that you were babysat by Molly McCann? Or were those lies? I'm not sure if those are lies or not.
Oh no, I'm not confirming or denying that one. You know what
Oh man, I'm so stoked for today. Spring season is starting. That's why I'm all in my New York Yankees gear.
Oh, I like that. I like
Uh,
that.
got my bad boy UFC 266 canvases that just came in. Oh my God, bro. We don't know if it's blood,
I've told
jelly,
you what.
jelly
I,
filling, or
I've
ketchup.
told you. That's DC's jelly donut. That's dripped all over that canvas.
Oh my Lord. And I would not doubt that one bit. So this weekend, we got a fight card coming up. Song Yadong versus Henry Cejudo. I don't know, man. I felt like this card was really hard from, I would say, maybe a gambler's perspective
Well,
to
to be fair,
pick.
that's because this card's been cursed, man. You know, seven
Oh,
seven cancelled fights. I mean that's got to be a record in recent times, surely.
that's insane. Seven cancel fights. I know that a lot of people wanted to see some of those fights that were
Yeah,
canceled. I'm glad that Rob Font was able to stay on the card.
yeah,
Um, But yeah, even so, like when I did my stats throughout the whole card, there were at least one, two, three, four pick'em fights.
yeah,
Four fights that are within like a 5% difference between who could win and who could lose.
yeah. There's some close fights on this card. It should be a banger, you know. Even with the cancelled fights, it should be a banger, you know. I mean, I was looking forward to Dominic Cruz. I was looking forward to Barboza, you know, and fair play, you know.
Um,
I feel for Dominic Cruz. You know, I mean, he wanted to show out one last time, but his body wouldn't let him do it.
his body wouldn't let him do it, man. And I've been a big Dominic Cruz fan for so long. He repped Arizona.
Yeah,
Uh, and especially when UFC was first starting out, it's hard to get fighters that were from your state, if you will.
yeah.
So,
Oh, I
any
know that
fighter,
feeling.
yeah. So any fighter that's from your state, you're like totally down to rep. So, I've always been a Dominic Cruz fan, and I did want to see him, just like with all these warriors, right? They want to go out inside the octagon, not in some hospital bed somewhere. So,
Yeah.
I feel for him. And, speaking about retirees, we might have one more Saturday night if he loses. We got Song Yadong. I don't know which way you say that. I know
I
it's
just
one of
say,
those two ways. And I
yeah.
see him both ways. But he's facing off versus Henry Cejudo. Um, who you got?
So for me, I I'm leaning towards Yudong. You know, I mean, I like Yudong, and that sounds funny when you say it like that.
You
But
like my dog? That's gross.
it's gonna be one of those episodes. It's gonna be one of those. But you know, like you say, you know, Cejudo, he's kind of teetering towards the end of his career now. I mean, the guy's retired twice at least that we know of, and like you say, you know, if he loses this could be the one, the one for good. Um, but having said that, I don't think Yadong's fought someone like Cejudo. You know, the pressure wrestler, the in and out with the karate stances, the you know, constant going for your legs. He'll push you towards the cage and that. Now, Yudong can go for a long time, you know, and his cardio is very very good. You know, he could go all Yudong could go all night. Uh,
It's gonna be one of them nights.
It's definitely going to be one of them nights. And what I love about Song Yudong is the way he, if you watch his fights, the way he comes out of a clinch, he always throws that elbow, and it's a blistering elbow, and it's powerful.
And
And I feel like maybe you could catch Henry coming
that's
out of the clinch
tough.
now.
Yeah, that's tough for a pressure fighter too, like Henry Cejudo. The knees, the elbows, just a general attack, which is something that I don't see a lot of fighters really utilizing to the maximum how they should be. And it's good to see Song utilize that. But honestly, I think like this fight's going to be closer than the odds makers have it.
Oh yeah,
I think there's a little bit of disrespect being put on Henry's name right now.
yeah.
And it could be the layoff, it could be his age. But I feel like it's pretty lopsided. I'm still picking Song to win this fight. My fight calculator has him at a 62% chance to
Mm.
win compared to a 73% chance that the odds makers have him at.
Yeah.
So it gives Cejudo a little room, and that's could be helpful in people trying to play like daily fantasy sports, DFS. Who should you pick? I think Henry is a live dog. I don't think he's going to win in this fight, but I think that it's going to be a lot closer. And I also think that if he does manage to wrap his arms around Song, he will be able to take him down.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
if he can control 2 rounds and make
yeah.
one controversial, I could see him getting away with a split decision. I'm not
Yeah.
picking that, but I'm saying
Yeah,
that
but
that's
I see
live.
what you're saying. I feel the same way. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think if Cejudo is going to win, I think it is going to be the judges are going to be involved. Do you know what I mean? Well, I can't remember the last time Cejudo finished a guy. I think it was Dominic Cruz. Um, so, and he's not really, even when he takes him down, he's not really a submission threat. Like, I don't think he's got any submission wins, which is surprising. Um, but he has
Wrestlers,
got the,
yeah, wrestlers aren't typically submission artists. Look at
no,
DC. He
yeah,
doesn't even
true.
fuck around with submissions. They're
No, I mean,
all about controlling that position and
yeah.
punishing.
Oh yeah, I mean, his ground and pound. He's got good ground and pound. Do you know what I mean? But I think Yudong's actually improved in that area as well. You watch a couple of his other fights, and his takedown defense is decent. It's not great, but it's decent. And like you say, if he can outlast Cejudo's pressure, I see kind of Cejudo maybe getting tired in the later rounds, and maybe that's when Yudong comes in and gets the win. But as long as Yudong doesn't blow too early, he'll be all right.
And that was the question with Yadong's. That was the question over Yadong when he first started his career. Can his cardio hold up? And
Yeah,
I think he proved to a lot of people that he, in fact, does have pretty good cardio.
yeah.
Um, but I do think it's going to be tested. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, he
I
has a
agree.
slight reach advantage, slight height advantage.
Tiny,
He's
tiny.
at his
Yeah,
prime of his age. So yeah, I expect Cejudo to get it done, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than what the
yeah.
bookies are saying.
I agree. It should be a good fight though. I'm looking forward to that.
I'm glad it's a main event. Next
Yeah.
up, we got Fluffy Anthony Hernandez versus Brendan Allen for the co-main event. Um, Fluffy right now, he's a pretty good, decent favorite. He was at minus 270 when I wrote this up to Brendan Allen's 230. Did you know that these two fought before? And
I,
Anthony Hernandez came out on top. And I
I think.
actually think they fought back in 2018 for the LFA middleweight championship,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
Fluffy won by unanimous decision. And I actually think that that fight is what made Brandon Allen a better fighter and go on a little mini win streak that he had
yeah,
going on.
yeah,
It's interesting to see them again. And for me, I personally have Anthony Hernandez an even better favorite than what the odds makers have him. I have him at a 76% chance winning, a minus 322. Pretty much a lock for me
yeah,
to
yeah,
get it done again and to really put his name out for a title shot. Slowly but surely, this man has been taking care of business against Michel Pereira, Roman Kopolov, Edmund Shabazian, who we just saw last week, knocked the fucking lights out.
Yeah,
His opponent, Mark Andre Barrialt, Josh Friend. So, he's showing up and showing out. And I think that he's going to get the job done again
yeah.
versus Brendan Allen.
I'm with you on that one. When I was writing this up and I was thinking about it myself, everything was pointing to Fluffy. Man, the way the Michel Pereira fight, he decimated him. Like looking at those, like it was unreal. He just had his way with him. Do you know what I mean? The way and the Kopolov fight, you know, it's that iconic when he's got him in the choke and he's like, laughing and it's like he's brutal with it. Like Fluffy is such a funny name. The fact that he's called Fluffy and he's so fucking dangerous. Do you know what I'm saying? Like he's like you say, I think he's a lot. I think that
Yeah.
guy's a lot. He's
Yeah.
loco, crazy with it.
Do you think he's going to get a submission or do you think that it's going to go to a decision? Brendan
I
Allen is a tough cookie to submit. Let me see what his submission rate is here. So he's been submitted about 58% of his losses have been
mhm.
submission.
Do you know what I think it might be? I think he might knock him out.
You think Fluffy will get a what, like a TKO? Neither these guys' TKO rates are so low. 23%
I
for
know, I
Hernandez.
know, but there's something about it. I mean, like Brendan Allen, like you look at the Imavov fight. I mean, he went to a decision. I mean, it might go to a decision. I'm probably maybe more leaning towards that, but I don't know. I feel like Fluffy could pull something out of the bag. He's improving.
So
It-
both these guys' fighters have only been submitted once, and Brendan Allen's been knocked out twice.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know if Hernandez is going to pull out the knockout. That's not his like trademark, if
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
will. But I think he's just going to control the shit out of him, man. Brendan Allen's a tough dude, bro. I don't see him like getting knocked out. Do I see him getting choked out?
I could see that as well. I could see that
Maybe,
as
but I'm
well.
gonna take a decision. I'm gonna take this as
Yeah,
to a
yeah.
decision.
We'll play on the safe side. We'll go decision. We'll go decision. Or doctor stoppage. Fluffy might cut him a few times,
Someone gets
and
cut up, pretty
yeah,
nasty. It's always on the table. This is a violent sport. But I
yeah.
think these two are gonna be like snakes. But
Oh
you
yeah,
always
yeah,
get that. You always get that where you get two guys that are proficient at grappling, and so they don't want to fucking grapple. Like we saw
yeah.
that
This
with
is
last
yeah.
week with Vieira and his opponent. And they were both pretty good, like jujitsu practitioners. So they decided to just stand up
They
on their
just
feet.
phoned him. Yeah,
They look disgusting, both of them. Fucking Vieira gassed out and shit, dude. This shit was hilarious. But yeah, I think watching their first fight, it went to the ground, and I think it's going to go to the ground again. I
yeah.
think standing up, Fluffy's always susceptible, and that's his main thing is how strong he is with control.
It's
So
a
I
good
think.
point.
All right, so we're both picking the same song for the first and Fluffy for the second fight. Next up, we got John or Jean Matsumoto versus Rob the Ageless Font.
I like
Fucker.
that.
Who you got?
Well, this is the one that it should have been Cruz. You know what I mean? It should have been Rob Font and Dominic Cruz. Um, so I mean, I'm going to admit I don't know much about Matsumoto, but I had a little look at his record and watched a few of his fights and everything, and he looks decent. He looks very decent. Undefeated, young, 27, whereas Rob Font's getting closer to 40. He's 37. So I think there's a massive age difference there, and I think with Rob, even though he's more experienced, he's kind of I don't know. I don't want to say like he's getting to the end of his career, but do you know what I'm saying? I think Matamoso. What did I write down? I said he could submit him. Now, it's or decision, or he could like grind it out to a decision. Do you know what I'm saying? But that's an interesting one. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like maybe Rob Font, if he loses, we could be looking at him retiring as well. We might get two retirees. this weekend.
We could be looking at some gloves in the center of the octagon, huh?
Calling dibs on
Nice.
them.
Well, I got Rob Font as my dog of the week, everybody. As a
Oh,
matter of fact, he's the only dog that I got winning. They got some coin flips going on, and they're so close that I can't even call which one is going to be the winner here. But when my fight predictor broke this one down, it was really interesting because I thought the same things too. He's getting up in age, but Rob Font's a fucking dog.
oh
This
yeah, yeah,
motherfucker loves to scrap, right? So
yeah,
Gene Matsumoto came in with a odds of like minus 200 all of a sudden for a late replacement fight, and the dudes fucking fought who? Like, we don't
yeah,
even like Dan Argueta, Brad Katona. Brad Katona is a good fight. Dan
yeah.
Argueta,
I like
he
that.
subbed him in two, but Argueta gasses after one fucking round. You know, then Tanner, Basilio de Oliveira, who the fuck is he?
Yeah,
It's like a bunch of no names after Argueta. Whereas you have Font losing to Davison Figueiredo, Corey Sandhagen, Marlon
yeah.
Vera. He beats Adrian Yanez. He just beat Kyler Phillips, who's supposed to be this UFC phenom. So, and then when you look at this, I mean, the punch stats, he's supposed to be landing more. They're supposed to be absorbing as much. So if Matsumoto can't execute his game plan of control,
Mm.
I think Font's going to piece him up.
Yeah, no,
I
I
think
mean, I agree with that. I agree with that. Like, Font's a scrappy mother, you know what I'm saying? And he will throw down like his life depends on it. Like that,
he's
that's
got
one thing I will.
He's going to throw down, and I got him at a slight edge. I got him at a 54.8%, which translates to a minus 121 favorite on my odds. So I
Mm.
think it's just even good value to throw $5 on a money line for Rob
Yeah, yeah,
Font. You ain't gonna lose a lot. Bet at your own risk. This isn't financial or betting advice.
exactly.
But I think this is one where, well, my fight calculator actually puts the underdog at the win, and I'm calling it dog of the week, Rob Font.
It's got to be an interesting watch that then, man. You know, I'm looking forward to that one.
Next fight up, Fighting
Oh.
Nerds alumni, Gene Silver, who, going up against Melsik Bakhtasarian. Say that three times real
I
fast.
am not saying that. I've even wrote. I am saying Melstick. I'm not even attempting that last name, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Ah, can you
No,
spell it?
I can't even spell it. I didn't even try and spell it. Do you know what I mean?
If we
I
had
just put
more time
Melstick.
on the Zoom, we would definitely throw out the spelling contest. But for the sake of
We're,
time,
we're
uh,
doing that one day. There's a big shout out on the podcast. We're doing fighters' names spelling bee, and I'm gonna be drunk by the end of it. You know what I'm saying?
oh man, I think this fight's gonna be a Muay Thai delight. Both these guys are Muay Thai practitioners first, and I think that's what they're gonna fall into. Neither of these
Yeah,
guys are really submission average specialists. They both got pretty good takedown defense. So I think we're just gonna see a really fucking awesome striking affair
yeah,
between these two guys. And we already know Silva puts it all on the line. The way he fucking fought with Drew Dober, oh my God, that shit was one of the fights of the years for last year
I
for
was
me.
going to say, I think you had that as one of your fights of the year last year, and
Yeah.
honestly, man, I think you also had Fighting Nerds as the gym of the year.
Fight camp of the year. Yeah. Now,
Fight Camp of
they
the
let us
year.
down with Bruno Brazil, but
Oh man,
I'm not gonna put that on fighting nerds. I'm still picking Gene Silva to win pretty fucking easily over Melsik Bakhtasarian. Who you
me
got?
too. Man. I'm exactly the same. Silver by KO in the first, if I'm honest. Do you know what I mean? Like Silver's, he fought three times in 2004. Like you say, potential fighter of the year. He's got that charisma. He's got that, like you say, that lethal Muay Thai style. And Muay Thai is one of my favorite striking, disciplines. It's one that I love, trained in. And this is going to be a war, but I think it's going to be a quick war. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, Meltic, he hasn't even fought all year last year. The last time was July 2023. So, we talk about ring rust and stuff like that. And your first fight back is against Gene Silver, man. You've been
That's
thrown to the
tough.
fucking wolves. Do you know what I'm
That's
saying? You're a sacrificial lamb. Do you know
that's
what I'm saying?
Dana must hate his ass. Jesus.
But yeah, yeah, Gene Silver by KO.
So you think you got it inside what? Inside one, inside two?
I'd say it's not making it to the third. Yeah, Put it
Lock
that
it
way.
in, fellas. Gene Silva by knockout.
That's the one.
Next, man, so the next two fights, and I know that this next one is pretty much the last one on the main card, but we get into this weird string of pick'em fights now, coin flips,
Mm.
50-50s, which actually is going to, I think, make for good TV.
Oh
Makes
yeah,
for horrible gambling. Unless, I mean, I guess yeah, I'm 50-50 odds, but I wouldn't be laying a lot of chalk. Like you got Alonzo Menifield, Julius Walker, who's coming in on a late notice fight, stepping up with hardly any, you know, fight
he's 6-0.
experience. And
Yeah,
he's
six
already,
and 0.
yeah, and he's 6-0, and he's already at a 43% chance to win this fight at a 135. My
Yeah,
calculator even boosted him up to a 49% chance to win. So it's basically a pick. This is actually one of the closest pick 'em fights that I have. It could go fucking anywhere. So basically, if Walker can grapple Benefield,
mm.
it'll be over. But if Benefield can connect,
Oh
it can
yeah.
go the other way.
Mayfield's dangerous. You know what I mean? I think he gets overlooked a few times, and he's been on the wrong end of a KO the past two fights.
Yeah,
But you know, I mean, I don't know what's going on with these Walker brothers. I mean, we saw Volta last week just heel
yeah,
hooking. You know what I mean? And now we've got Julius coming in. Johnny needs to be taking some notes. Do you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. These walkers well, we'll see what Julius does. But I
Yeah,
agree
yeah,
with you. I think there's a little bit of disrespect on Manifield's name based
yeah,
on past performance recently and sort of glossing over his pure talent.
yeah,
He opened up as a minus 156, and yeah, I mean, I still have him a slight edge. Um, we'll see. The numbers, they're cold. They don't give a shit
yeah,
about you, and they do reflect his past performances. So he does need to do something different to
yeah. He
break out of that mold.
needs to make a statement with this one. You know, and like I say, I think it's gonna be must see TV. One of them, I feel one of them's going out. I feel there's gonna be a KO. This ain't going to the judges.
That'd be nice if I think this would be a boring ass 3 round fucking decision fight.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think as
Yeah.
well. The other thing that makes me like leans towards Manyfield a little bit is the experience gap. Do you know what I'm saying? He's a vet, whereas Julius is six professional fights. You know, we've seen it happen before, though. Don't get me wrong, where the young gun has took
Yeah.
on someone with a hell of a lot of experience and won. But I always seem to feel experience, beats youth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree 100%. I tend to take that, especially for a debut fight.
Yeah.
It's a lot of nerves, and they even say that all the time. The lights got to me, the experience got to me. It's always gonna fucking get to you.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't matter where. Which of the prelim fights are you most looking forward to see?
So there's a couple. Um, Ibo Aslan versus Kutalaba. That should be a good one. Again, I think someone's going to sleep in that one, and I
It's
think he might be
another
cool.
coin flip.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Ibo just because of the last performance. I was blown away by it.
Yeah, I
Turkish.
was too. That
I was
was
really impressed, very
Yeah,
impressed.
I got him as a slight
Um,
lean as well as a minus 109.
yeah, that's the one I'm going for. Ricky Simmons on there, Andre Feely's on there in the prelims. He's always a good watch. But there's one that everyone needs to get there bright and early for, opening the main card. Modestas Pakakas. I hope I'm saying that last name right because I just call him Moddy. Um, me and Modestas, we talk a lot. He's a great guy. He's been through hell, to come back into the UFC, and I feel like he's on a comeback tour now. I think it's a tough fight. It's a tough fight against his opponent. Um, I think that was who Ibo Aslan actually knocked out in his last fight. So I feel like Modestas is going to try and replicate
Make a
that.
statement. Try to make
Exactly.
a
He's going
statement. And it seems like this guy Rafael Selkeria is the sacrificial lamb that
yeah,
everyone beats on to to get sort of a back on track fight, a get
yeah,
right fight, and this could be Modesto's get right fight. And so, yeah, I got him as a large favorite in this one too, a 78% or a minus 361 favorite for Modestas Bukauskas. Everybody, I think we're both picking that one. I know our time is running short, but we appreciate you guys tuning in and watching the Homie Podcast with Red Wolf MMA and Von Weedon over here. Next time, DJ MTK will be on. Maybe we'll get some other fools as well to join us. But we love doing this shit, man. I can't wait till Saturday night.
We live for it. We live for it.
All
Let's
right,
go.
brother. Well, you take care, man.
You too. See you in a